Good morning. Good morning, everyone. And welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, our Sunday celebration service here. I don't know if anybody else is. Do you remember being this windy all the time in the Twin Cities? It just is more and more and more. My name is Jeff Bird. I'll be your presider today. I'd like to remind everybody, maybe turn your phones off. I just did that. I remembered how to do that. I thought it would not be the right thing to have something going on up here. Our statement of truth is that there's a power for good in the universe greater than we are, and we can consciously use it. And we talk about consciously so much during all this teaching and stuff like that, and that's where it really comes down to. All the books we read, all the classes we take, all come down to a sense of consciousness and working with it. And our mission here is to teach, demonstrate, and inspire a positive spiritual approach to living. And with that, we'll start with a little inspiration from our singers this morning with Victoria and James.
Good morning. Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
Is this on? Is this on? No. It is not on. What? No. It's on? Oh, good. Oh, I can hear now. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah. It's a good day for singing a song, and it's a good day for moving along. Yes, it's a good day. How could anything be wrong? A good day for morning till night, and it's a good day for shining your shoes, and it's a good day for losing the blues. Everything to gain and nothing to lose. A good day from morning till night. I said to the sun, good morning, sun. Rise and shine today. You know you've gotta get going if you're gonna make a showing. And you've got the right of way, 'cause it's a good day for paying your bills, and it's a good day for curing your ills. So take a deep breath and throw away the pills. It's a good day from morning till night. It's a good day for singing a song. It's a good day for moving along. Yes, it's a good day. How could anything be wrong? A good day from morning till night. And it's a good day for shining your shoes. And it's a good day for losing the blues. Everything to gain and nothing to lose. A good day from morning till night. I said to the sun, good morning, sun. Rise and shine today. Yeah, you know you've gotta get going if you're gonna get a showing. And you got the right of way, 'cause it's a good day for paying your bills. It's a good day for curing your ills. So take a deep breath and throw away the pills. It's a good day from morning till night. Yes, it's a good day from morning till night.
Very, very nice. And just for James, we brought an Aussie in for him to commiserate with here today. So, well, if everybody can just take a deep breath, be conscious of where we are right now, be present with where we are, and close your eyes if you want to. Because as we gather here today with hearts open and spirits lifted, we acknowledge the boundless abundance that surrounds us. Like fish in an ocean, we may have times overlook the vastness of that love, light, and wealth that envelops us. With Reverend Debbie as our guide, we awaken to the truth that we are worthy and entitled to every blessing that flows within this sea of abundance. May we see with new eyes, recognize the richness of our existence and the infinite possibilities that lie before us. Let us dive deep into the depths of gratitude, knowing that as we embrace our inherent worthiness, we attract even greater blessings into our lives with each breath, with each step. May we swim effortlessly in the currents of divine love and prosperity. And so it is. And now, as we do each Sunday, we will have our group reading. I am ready to deepen my conviction in the power and presence for good. I am ready to apply it in my daily life. I am ready to receive God's highest blessings. I am ready to live from a higher level of beingness. And I am ready to transformative light in the world. Sorry about that. You almost tried to follow along with it. And now, as we do every Sunday, we acknowledge there are other paths to the one. And I'll have someone come up and light the candles for us today. Julie. We know there are a lot of paths. We acknowledge that they're all good paths going to the one, many names for the one. We can think of a name right now.
Sorry.
No?
Is it on the bottom?
This one's not. Oh, there we go. There you go. First off, we're going to light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. And we light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. And now we light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We'll light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. And now we'll light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candles for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. And now I invite you to light that candle within for all forms of new thought, knowing that that candle burns bright in you each and every minute of each and every day. And so it is. Thank you. And now we will move on to our reading today with Colleen.
Excuse me. Good morning. The reading today is from Spiritual Economics by Eric Butterfield. What's that?
It's Butterworth. Sorry.
What did I say? Oh, I know it's Butterworth. I should have caught that. Thank you. You guys are all on your toes this morning. That's good. The medieval mystic and lay monk Brother Lawrence coined the illuminating phrase, the practice of the presence of God. This is often erroneously thought of as a somber act of religious piety. In the context of Brother Lawrence's experience of working for God while scrubbing pots in the monastery kitchen, it doesn't seem to mean having flashes of mystical insight or even spending long periods in meditation. And it's said of doctors that they practice medicine. That certainly does not suggest having an emotional experience. It is purely a description of how they make their living. To practice the presence of God does not mean to titillate yourself with some mysterious spirit of God that comes and goes. The presence of God is that of God, which is present, wholly present, ceaselessly present. It never changes. It doesn't come and go. It is. You may change, and like the prodigal son, you may come and go. But as Meister Eckhart says, you are in the far country. The Father is at home. So the practice of the presence of God means continually reminding yourself of the activity of God ever working in you, as much as the student of mathematics must continually remind oneself of those principles. Make a deeply rooted commitment that you will practice the presence of God, substance, ever reminding yourself that you are in the presence of an infinite, eternal substance from which all things proceed. Resolve that you will live and think and work as if you really believe that the whole universe of creativity and substance were present in every project of your work and every transaction of your investments as your never-failing resource. Practice the presence of God's substance with diligence and persistence, and you begin to realize prosperity.
Don't you just love Eric Butterfinger? And now we'll have a song.
So this is a song that's written by Kathy DeWitt. It's called Sweet Spirit. Sweet Spirit, shine your light on me. Guide me and show me the way. I place my trust in you, knowing you will never fail. You bless me with your presence every day. Sweet Spirit, fill me with your peace. Give me the strength to carry on in this and every moment. Give me the courage to follow the words, thy will be done. There may be times when I feel doubt, till I know that this is okay. I know your shining light will dispel the darkest of my fears if I only remember to pray. Sweet Spirit, shine your light on me. Guide me and show me the way. I place my trust in you, knowing you will never fail if I only remember to pray. Lord, help me remember to pray.
Thank you very much. Beautiful song. And Reverend W will be coming in just a minute to give her talk, and I know it's really good because every time I walked by the office, there was this glow coming out of it. There you go.
Oh, yes. And it was from a light, trust me, it wasn't from me. Okay, good morning, everybody. Good morning. We're in April, and this month we are going to take a look at abundance, about sharing and appreciating and celebrating all of the magnificence that's in life, that's in each of our lives. It's inherently there. And Reverend Joanne and I are going to take just a couple of quick minutes every Sunday just to remind us of the basics of this teaching, right? I mean, our founder, Ernest Holmes, it was in the mid-1900s, around in the 50s, and, you know, Oprah wasn't around then, right? This whole idea of it's all God and meditation and all of those things weren't actually commonplace as they are today. And he founded this philosophy based on all of the readings and studying that he had done. And it's really, truly a mixture of Eastern and Western culture. And it's practical. It helps us create a personal, intimate relationship with God, with our soul, with the one, whatever you call it. It allows us to take complete and total responsibility for our lives, when it's working and when it isn't working, right? We get to be responsible. And by being responsible, we can change it. In this teaching, we learn that life is a balance. It's a balance of harmony and joy and love. And it's all about being a beneficial presence on this earth. Because when we thrive, others thrive with us. When we do good, others see the reward in terms of a smile, and they do good. Ernest Holmes wrote, "This philosophy is of nothing new to the world. It is rather a synthesis of the greatest concepts that have ever come to the mind of humankind. The laws of Moses, the love of Christ, the ethics of Buddha, the morals of Confucius, and the deep spiritual realization of the Hindus. They all find a place, an exalted place in this philosophy." So I share that because, we come together on Sundays for a couple of reasons, right? We come together to feel the love in this room. We come together on streaming to feel the love of everything that is around us. We come to share the light that's in our individual hearts and allow it to radiate bigger and brighter because we become more willing. And we come here to share a wealth of understanding from a spiritual perspective, to look at things that have happened or are happening in our lives and support each other, celebrate each other. We come here basically because we love ourselves, and we are ready to deepen that love. And in today's world where there's all kinds of uncertainty, and I don't know about you, but all kinds of crazy happening, right? It's kind of hard to avoid it sometimes. It's hard to not get sucked into it sometimes, I must admit. But with everything going on, I believe it impacts those of us who are spiritually wealthy a little more, because our hearts are always so open and we're always so willing. But that doesn't mean we need to shut off the news or shut people off when they're going on their rants. We can just walk away. We can simply walk away, turn down the volume, and pick up in something inspirational just to keep ourselves grounded. And that is why we want to look at today and every Sunday this week, this idea of abundance of good. Because as we focus on our good, we're bringing more good. Because we're all dynamic, vibrational spirits, just here to elevate it all. So I'm going to start off this month with a lesson from Jesus. Now remember, Jesus is the master teacher, we believe, not the master example. That he came here, that the parables and stories were made present for us to realize that there is just one, and for us to embody it more deeply. And so, as the master teacher, there's a fairly well-known scripture. Jesus said, "It is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a wealthy man to enter the kingdom of heaven." Has anyone not heard that before? My mother, my good Catholic mother, knew that phrase really well. Really well. And I believe when I look at that phrase from this philosophy, it really is a catalyst for poverty, right? I mean, if you want to get to the kingdom, you got to let go of everything else. But that's not really what the story is about. If we go to Mark, Matthew, and Luke, they all write about this. But Mark in particularly has a rich context to it. Now, this statement was made to a wealthy young man, very wealthy young man. He comes to Jesus and he says, what do I need to do to become a follower? And Jesus says, well, my son, you got to sell everything. Sell everything. And the guy wasn't so happy about that because his life was good, right? He just wanted it to make better. And selling everything to the poor made no sense to him whatsoever. So he walked away depressed, actually, depending on which version of this you read. But my version of the whole story is this. When he surprised the disciples when he said this to this man. And before he said that is the phrase that we don't usually hear. My sons, how hard is it for those who trust in their wealth to enter into the kingdom of God? You know, it's kind of darn hard to serve two masters, right? Now, that is not to say that wealth is bad. Not at all. That you can't be in the kingdom and still have wealth. That's totally incorrect. But that wealth is a substance of spirit, of God. It's the only thing that substance can be of. But in order to live life in the flow, we need to have some spiritual principles, some spiritual practices. We need to allow ourselves to not be controlled by wealth, but to live in support of wealth. If you think of wealth as money, as possessions, it's about not letting it control you or your life. It's not being too caught up in keeping a hold of it. It's about moving and appreciating and staying in the flow. He goes on a few verses after this, and he says, I truly say to you, there is no man who leaves houses or brothers or sisters or fathers or mothers or wives or children or fields for my sake or for the sake of my gospel, who shall not receive now in this time 100-fold. So remember, it's a metaphor. It's a proverb that he's really talking through. And to me, you don't say you have to give up all your wealth and then turn around and say, and oh, by the way, I'm going to give it back to you 100-fold. It doesn't literally mean that. I believe what this whole thing means is seek ye first the kingdom, and then all things should be added unto you. And that's the key. It's easier the whole verse would be, it's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a man who looks to his wealth as his God to find it. It's not about that insecurity and that unhappiness. But when he looks to God first, when she looks to God first, when any of us look to God first, all other things come to us naturally and easily. And we don't have to worry about holding on to it. We don't have to worry about where more is going to come from, because it all comes from the one. So the metaphysical Bible defines wealth as, true wealth as a state of consciousness, the consciousness of God as our supply. Our spiritual wealth expresses itself as faith, love, wisdom, substance, joy, and so forth. So wealth is all about a state of consciousness. It's all about knowing that it's here today, it could be gone tomorrow, and I'm grateful for what it is today. And I'm grateful for what I know is appearing tomorrow. Because when our consciousness is centered on that idea of oneness, of the real true fact that there's no place where God is not, then there's really no such thing as lack. A state of consciousness, it's all about our thoughts and our feelings and our beliefs. It's about our values. It's about our attitudes. It's about our suiting up and showing up as our authentic selves. That state of consciousness is what brings us into the kingdom of heaven. And just that's all it is. I'm focusing on Eric Butterworth today, but this month we're going to be looking at a couple of our favorite authors. Charles Fillmore on prosperity. We've got Napoleon Hill and Catherine Ponder, her Dynamic Laws of Prosperity. It's a little dense, but it's worth it. But today I want to talk about the truth of substance, which is actually a chapter in Butterworth's book, Spiritual Economics. And in there, he quotes Emily Cady, who says, God is not a being with qualities or attributes, but God is the good itself coming into expression as life, love, power, and wisdom. In other words, God is not loving. God is the allness of love. God is not wise, but God is the essence of wisdom. God is not the dispenser of substance, but God is the ever-present substance in which we live, we move, and we have our being. In which we live, we move, and we have our being. And that, my friends, is how I know we're all wealthy. Already. Because we all have that state of consciousness, that state of awareness. God is not the dispenser of divine substance, but God is the ever-present substance that we live, move, and celebrate. The wholeness of God, the entirety of God, is present every moment, in every space, all of the time. All of the time. God doesn't come and go. He doesn't show up because you're praying, right? It doesn't show up because you're praying. It is the prayer of your thoughts on a regular, consistent basis. It's that first cause. God doesn't say, okay, I'm going to go up there and get something and bring it down for you from the storehouse. There is no up there. There's right here and right now. Always present. Think about that, because that's a big one. Always present, totally present as the presence, whether we're aware of it or not. So, you may be praying for health, but know that you are right here in the wholeness of God, present around you, of health. We may be praying for that one special love, but right here and right now, the wholeness of God's love is what we are breathing. We may be praying for a greater abundance of whatever it is we're looking for more of, but all of the substance of God is right here where we are. It's kind of hard to get your head around. It's a stretch. But it's the law, just like the law of gravity. There's no place where gravity is not. There's no, right? Unless it's a false condition that man has created. Mary Morrissey once said that the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. Just because we can't see it, feel it, touch it all of the time does not mean it's not totally and completely present. Butterworth goes on to write in his first chapter, there is no place in the universe where substance is more present or has less present than right where you are right now. And though you can accumulate, store away material riches, there is no way you can amass substance. In contrast to this, you could lose all of your assets in a financial crisis, but you can never lack substance. The awareness of this principle marked the difference in the crash of 1929 between those who picked themselves up and went on and those who jumped out of a window. A person who keeps a conscious thought, a consciousness, a spiritual consciousness, will always be in the divine flow. Will find expression, will find a way to be genuinely in service and of service and well rewarded. It could be said that when you realize your relationship to the dynamic universe, you are forever in a field where you can drill for oil and bring up a gusher every time. Every time. Remember the story of the woman who had no oil? She had one jar, and that was it. And she went and got more jars, and she kept getting more oil. And the more she believed in her source, the more she had to give and to share. I think we've all had times when we didn't know how we were going to make it, but somehow we made it. I remember my very first, I've had a few unemployment issues. But my first unemployment issue, I remember I was living alone in Huntington Beach, California, and there was just like no way I was going to make it. There was just no way. So I just, there was reason to think about lack because I'm like so steeped in it, So I did what I needed to do to find a job, but then I got creative and did other things. I decided, you know what, I just know. Don't know why. Just know. And I hadn't even started this teaching yet. And so out of the blue, I get a call from a former customer who asked me if I can help him with a contract he just signed with a telecommunications company in Belize that was opening up a call center. Okay, yeah, you can pay me to do that. And then some guy from LA had gotten my name somehow, and he had a generic computer and this wonderful group of people that would do computer repair by contract. And he was ready to take it to market. And he's like, would you come and help me do this for 3 months? And I'm like, sure, I can do that. I've never really done marketing, but whatever, we can do this. And somehow everything just, I don't know, it just all came into place. Because I wasn't thinking about lack, there was no need to think about lack, because I was like up to here in lack. And somehow things just always appeared. I decorated the tree in my front yard with cut out snowflakes, white snowflakes, and hung them with red yarn. And I won the contest from the association for $100. I was like, oh, I can go grocery shopping again. This will be great. But do you remember a time in your life when it was just like, all right, I'm just going to, let it all, I'm just going to step into it and do what I need to do, and I'm not going to let it stress me out. And then, on the other end, it's all good. And you have no idea how you got from A to B, but you did, and you're glad that you don't remember anything in between. Right? We've all had that. I love that because it is said in this teaching that the universe cannot support a vacuum. Right? And the idea being, right, if there's no place where God is not. So when we're in a place down there somewhere, because this hole has been created in our life, whether it's unemployment or health or relationship or whatever, right? that space has to be filled with something. And we can either fill it with fear, worry, lack, doubt, right? Or we can say, all right, Spirit, you're right here, you're right now, fill this hole. Literally fill this hole. You know, in physics, they talk about the fact that empty spaces are unstable. They're unstable. And so it's really important that they get filled as quickly as possible with material, with particles, with something. It can't just remain unstable. So when we allow that emptiness, when we just give thanks and be grateful for it, whatever that is, we allow space, I believe, for the universe, for the substance of good to fill it. Because we haven't rushed to fill it ourselves. And if we let the universe fill it, it won't be full of lack or any kind of muck. It just won't. So, this month, Reverend Joanne and I invite you to join us as we make a deeply rooted commitment to practice the presence of God while we're doing dishes, while we're vacuuming, while we're dusting. To practice that presence, to know that right here, the air that we're breathing is God's love. The warm water that's coming out of that faucet is expression of wonderful substance, of precious substance. Take a shower and just be fully present in that shower. Just remember, God is in that shower stall with you. It is the stall. It is the water. And yes, it's a bit much to wrap your head around. But when you start to wrap your head around it, then when those fears show up, you start to think to yourself, why? Why am I afraid of that? It's just another expression of God. Just another expression of God. Find an affirmation that you can use. Find an affirmation that fills you. Find an affirmation like this one. Say it with me. God is my instant, constant, and abundant source of supply. That is our truth. Can you feel that as your truth? Because it is. And with that, let's pray. Oh, in this moment, I just celebrate the truth. I celebrate the truth that there is only one, and that one which I call God, that one that goes by so many names, is ever present. And it experiences its creation as I experience my life. And I know this is true for every single person here. So join me as I declare right here and right now that life is abundant. That the state of consciousness of knowing the one, of that wealth, it is the one here and now. I am willing to allow more love, more joy, more peace, more of all of it into my life with a grateful heart. I am ready to be wealthy. Wealthy. I am ready for that Christ consciousness to be ever present. I let go of anything that is holding me back from my divine expression. And I just say, life, let's go do this. Let's go do this bigger and better and higher. And let's take a lot of people with us. And so, with a heart that is open, with gratitude for all that has been, all that is, and all that will be, I let this go. I let God do the heavy lifting in my life, and I just celebrate, and so it is. Thank you.
Speaking of celebrating, there is a light inside of you, brother, and I don't know if you know there's a light that is so bright. I just thought I'd tell you there is a light inside of you, sister, and I don't know if you know there's a light that is so bright. I just thought I'd tell you there is a love inside of your heart, and I don't know if you know there's a love that is so strong. I just thought I'd tell you there is a strength inside of your soul, and I don't know if you know there's a strength inside of your soul. I just thought I'd tell you there is a power inside of a song, and I don't know if you know there's a power inside of a soul, and it's time to celebrate, 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 celebrate. There is a light inside of us all, and I don't know if you know there's a light that is so bright. I just thought I'd tell you there is a light inside of us all, and I don't know if you know there's a light inside of us all, and it's time to celebrate, 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 celebrate. There is a light inside of us all, and I don't know if you know there's a light that is so bright. I just thought I'd tell you there is a light inside of us all, and I don't know if you know there's a light that is so bright, and it's time to celebrate.
Very, very nice, very, very nice. This is our time of the service for conscious giving. And I'd like everybody to just take a minute and close your eyes and just be grateful. Grateful for all that you have. Grateful for everything in your world. Because that's what it's all about. And remember that whatever you give out comes back pressed down and multiplied. And as we get ready to hand out the baskets here, remember the last time you did something somebody didn't expect? You gave your waitress something extra or whatever, and it just made them smile, and that good feeling with it? Well, I would like you to leave euphoric today.
I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed.
And we have some announcements. First off, the Power of Decision class is still going on.
We just had one class.
We had one class. Well, you can still sign up for it. The people that were in the first class really, really enjoyed it, and missing one class is not going to set you behind at all with anything like that. So if you would like to, go to the website and you can sign up right there to enjoy the class with us. We also have announced that we will have our first CSL Minneapolis Spiritual Retreat, June 15th. So if you want to mark that date, it'll be at the Clifton E. French Nature Center at French Park. And it'll be more details coming with it, but it's a very nice venue out there. We'll be in the Oakwood Room. And as we get more details put together, we will let you know that. Anthony, would you come up and talk about the art crawl and what you're exhibiting?
Sure, thank you. So the St. Paul Art Crawl is next weekend, and I am doing an exhibit as part of the art crawl, and it is a retrospective of my late husband's artwork. So there are a few cards up there. I ran out, so you might want to take a picture, but if you can make it, I would love to see you. Thank you.
It's one of the beautiful Victorian homes over off of, it's on Ramsey, but just kind of where the points come together over Ramsey Hill, or over in Crocus Hill. So you might want to take a look at that and do that. I believe that is all we have for announcements, unless you have something I forgot.
Just the annual meeting afterwards.
Oh, the annual meeting will be afterwards, after fellowship, but you can still, yeah, you can still have coffee and stuff like that. That's the most fun part. I know you didn't want to stop to have service, but we had to do that. Then we interrupted your fellowship.
We're ending early so we can start fellowship early and then do the annual meeting right after,
Correct.
in this room.
Right here. You need to sit up here because we're letting Anthony take care of all the mics and stuff like that. So now let's just get ready to move on from this. Hopefully everybody took something from Debbie's talk today. So I'll pray us out, Joanne will bless us out, and they will sing us out. As we depart from this sacred gathering, may we carry with us the profound realization that we are immersed in a boundless sea of abundance. Just as the fish swims in the ocean without recognizing the water that sustains it, so too may we sometimes overlook the love, light, and wealth that surrounds us. Yet today, we affirm our worthiness and entitlement to every blessing that flows within this vast expanse. With newfound clarity and vision, may we see with eyes of gratitude, appreciation, acknowledging the richness of our existence. May this awareness guide us on our journey, empowering us to navigate the currents of life with confidence and assurance. And as we go forth, may we radiate this light of truth, inspiring others to recognize their own inherent worthiness and entitlement to the abundance that awaits them. Blessed be now and always, and so it is. Joanne?
I'd like to leave you with this blessing today. May you be at peace. May you know the beauty of your own true nature. May your heart be open. Know that you're healed. Know that you're blessed. Namaste.
Take us away, guys.
When you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. When you're laughing, the sun comes shining through. But when you're crying, you bring on the rain. So stop your crying, baby, and be happy again. And keep on smiling, keep on smiling. The whole world smiles with you. Bad that day, a button up bad day, a bone. I wouldn't go bad way, I wouldn't do bad work, but I wouldn't do bad, I do. I wouldn't go bad way, I'm bad, no, bad way. I wouldn't go bad way, I go bad day, I won't do. Wouldn't do bad way, but bad day, I won't go bad way, I'm do. Bad way, that day, I won't bad that day, I won't that. Yeah, when you're smiling, And when you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you, baby. When you're laughing, the sun comes shining, it comes shining through. When you're crying, you bring on the rain. So stop your crying, baby, and be happy again. And keep on smiling, just keep on smiling. The whole world smiles with you. The whole world smiles with you.
Grab some